And another niggun that I had to do with this month, with Elul, is that in 1988, summer of 1988, the Rebbe at this time of Elul, the beginning of the month, he said a sicha, a talk, requesting everyone to begin wishing each other a Ksiva Vachasima Tova l'Shana Tova Mesuka, or Ktiva Vachatipma Tova l'Shana Tova Metuka, to have a good, a good writing and signing in the book above for a good sweet year. And we should, because it's a custom for people to be, send each other Shana Tova cards and begin wishing. So the Rebbe said we should start at the beginning of the month and really make a thing out of it. So that summer, I was like a head counselor helping run a camp in Detroit, Michigan. So we weren't in Crown Heights in Brooklyn where the Rebbe said the talk, so we didn't hear directly, but we did hear a talk which was like a hookup, or we got word from what he spoke also over Shabbos to do this, that the Rebbe said that we should wish each other the Shana Tov Metuka. So it was one of the last days of camp, the second to one of the last, yeah. So the second to the last day of camp, we took the kids on a trip to Windsor, which is like this island between Michigan and Canada, I think Ontario, which has this big amusement park. It's a whole amusement spot. So we went for the trip, and the camp was really joyful. We came back in the bus, and the kids were very spirited, starting singing songs, going back to go to sleep. And while we were on the bus, I was sitting with a dear friend, Rabbi Yossi Chadukov, who's a shliach now in Florida, the grandson of the famous secretary of the Rebbe, Rabbi Chadukov. So we were there, and the kids were singing, and knowing what the Rebbe just said the day before, to wish each other K'tivach Teva, we started to try to fit the words into different niggunim. And then we started singing. So between Yossi and myself, we started putting the words into that Lubavitch wordless tune, and the words fit perfectly. Ksiva Vachasima Tova l'Shana Tova Mesuka. Ksiva Vachasima Tova l'Shana Tova Mesuka. Ksiva Vachasima Tova l'Shana Tova Mesuka. So the kids picked it up, and we were singing it. By the time we got back to Detroit, we were singing it over and over. The kids were all enraptured with the song, and I think it was the next night we had the go away, farewell big banquet, and we're rocking the house with this niggun. Then we flew back to New York, got back in time to Crown Heights to get for the Rebbe's davening at night for Ma'ariv. And since by the time from the whole out of this Midwest camp, how many kids were from New York? So it wasn't that many kids. It was maybe 15 kids or so. They came in, and we were invited. We were allowed into the Rebbe's house. The Rebbe was davening from his house on President Street, and he was davening in the living room for them. So when the Rebbe finished davening, and the Rebbe started walking back to upstairs to where his bedroom was, so the kids started this song. The Rebbe's walking. I remember this was in front of my eyes because I was at the bottom of the steps. The Rebbe walked up halfway as we were singing it. He stopped. He turned around, looked down to the crowd, and he broke out with such an amazing big smile. And then he went up bigger. And I was standing next to someone, Rabbi Chaim Baruch Halberstam, who was known to he was like the whole macher. He would film things and take care of different stuff in Crown for the Rebbe, help out. And he said he was so upset right afterwards because he said that since the Rebbe's wife passed away, the Rebbeson passed away like more than half a year before, the Rebbe did not smile like this. So like this was the first time the Rebbe finally was like breaking out and was showing like pure joy. So so the Rebbe went upstairs, and then a few minutes later, Rabbi Groner runs downstairs, and he shows up and he says, "Where's the madre? Who's the person running the camp?" So I step forward, and he tells me to get all the kids to the front ready because the Rebbe is coming back down to give the kids dollars for tzedakah to give. So wow. So, but the thing is, already at that point, there were a bunch of kids that left already to meet their parents outside to start getting ready to go home. So it was only left like 5 kids. I had to run out, try to find more kids, try to get them to come back, and then maybe even get kids that were in our camp. But there should be something at least of like a group. It won't be embarrassing in front of the Rebbe. At least it looks like at least one bunk of kids who. But so we got enough. And we were standing in front, and then we sang this song over and over because the Rebbe took a while to come down, like 10, 15 minutes, just singing. The whole house was rocking with it. And by that time, I think it was Halberstam ran, or someone got a camera. So there is footage of it from this point where Rabbi Gordon is coming down, speaking to me, and then going, and then all the kids singing for another 10, 15 minutes. And then the Rebbe comes downstairs. And then, so we were all thought that he's just going to give out the tzedakah. But then the Rebbe calls for a microphone, and he gives over a whole talk, a sicha, both about the specialness of children and the camp, and that the parsha that week was, I think it's almost like the Ksiva, like today, was Tuesday of Parsha Shoftim. So it was like, I think like, well, it was like yesterday's parsha, but the sicha was a little bit later. So it was that, and just like in camp, so the Torah portion of the Tuesday of the Shoftim of the parsha is that the tribe of Levi don't have to do any work, and they get they're already taken care of because God is their property. That's what they inherit, the divine. They're devoted exclusively to the divine. So that state is similar to what children are. Children don't have to work; they could just devote themselves entirely to focus on things just for God and the divine. And the Rebbe gave some examples. For example, that when kids are in camp, they do things, and the Rebbe said like to learn how to make tzitzis, things like this, which were exactly activities, believe it or not, that we were doing with the children in camp. So it was like really spot on. So that since then, that night, this niggun Ksiva Vachasima Tova caught on even more. And now it's like the known song to sing this month in Elul. So those are like another couple like Elul songs.